justice, equity, and all those things. But there's nowhere in the American Constitution, it's a constitution in America, so I don't understand what he's talking about contextualizing and analyzing. Unless he goes through the book, and the book is specifically on how and why Trump was to win. And his policies are the policies of past Republican presidents, which he will enhance heavily. All right? Because if he wants to do anything outside the American Constitution, it will be difficult, because it will be difficult to amend the Constitution. Or if he wants to enact laws, it might be difficult. So I'm not saying that Trump is going to be a rogue president.
He looks so.
Appearances deceive sometimes.
No, his actions.
No, he's following the law.
No, what sometimes he even overlooks, oversteps advice.
In a campaign, but he cannot overstep the law. He can overstep an advice, but he cannot overstep the law and the Constitution of the United States of America.
Okay.
Yeah.
How and why Raila Odinga can win AUC championship against hurdles. The last great battle, Raila Odinga and AUC chairmanship. The last great battle.
I say it. Is there a question mark there?
Yes.
Now you need to put it in perspective.
Last great battle?
Yes. Now that's in order.
So the answer is...
We're asking a question. Is it his last great battle?
Have you answered this one, Odinga?
No, that one. No, it's a question for all leaders and students of political history, analysts, you know. But I don't think with this. Because you see, it's not a do or die for Raila Odinga, considering his 50 plus years of political presence in not only in Kenya, even in the region. Yes.
So it's
a question which might be. It's a question.
But we should be answered by this book. By then
Yes.
Is the book answering that question?
Pardon?
Yes.
Yes.
So what is the answer?
The answer, you need to get the book. You have the book, you need to go through the book. If I want to talk about everything in the book, the king of leaders, you know, I'm a northerner now. I need people to buy the books and those anxieties. But so that they can promote my publishers, my writers, and you know.
Okay.
Yes.
Kitabu kinokuaneta mangana manga ukuboru kwa Raila Odinga siasa chiaye ne bintu binde binge as candidate ya Raila Odinga as AUC. Na wateri bagali okubwa.
High chances. Yes.
Na scale 1 to 10.
7.
3 nasiki.
Pardon?
3 chwatega sikuna chaki.
In Kinyanganyiro, ndo bwate lose and win. Ejibone ja lose and win, ejibone probability issues. There are probability issues which you cannot dictate. Yes.
How can he win?
First, the aspect of how the area follow the roadmap na whatever. We can take a tangani. We can are endorsed by the regional bloc EAC. All right. No, the first step are endorsed by the country. Kenya has endorsed him. President William Ruto is gone out of his way to put the necessary infrastructure for him to campaign. 2, they have convinced the EAC. All right. 3, the other blocks now, like ECOWAS, we have like 80% of ECOWAS. SADC, we have like 80% of SADC. Maghreb region, he has been endorsed. And by the way, ayo mheshimiwa Nyakundi. Omuntu yo ndio abakanya bakasupport ono mheshimiwa yo foreign affairs minister. Ochibuti. Chikandringa kwa morora akoli chikura. Ekachikure chikuri S54 S50 presidents.
In fact, we never saw the current chairman of our campaign.
How do you?
Faki.
No, that time Kenyans were not keen. I was following that. I was during the voting. I was in Addis Ababa. Kenyans were not keen. Again, this thing is papa bigger than life. Kendi yonsi aguju kuna. I boni ekoreto abantu watu wa interests. All right, and Kenya as a country didn't do much for Amina Mohammed because one, the regional bloc was not, Museveni himself was not convinced. It was overlooked. Region. So those dynamics, nacho there is the advancement of the information superhighway. And Akobodia Omong'Are yo Djibouti, Bwamoro the country because you need even the Namokora because you as a a keen observer, you must know this information.
Maybe strategy of your campaign is different.
Who are the voters? Now and I represent
it's maybe the same thing whatever. Maybe in Turkoma follow.
No, they come follow because of emotional biases and which they attribute emotional biases. Wago attribute in a papa, abu, wago support the Ijikura Waka. President, and you must be seen or Korea. You got to know Mora, you can't do Namorang or say very settle. But talk my strategy, like I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. What I go I'm saying a strategy we go or a kind of community or Wakumupira again the number. But all
it's maybe when I know what the bias towards Raila Odinga.
Yeah, think about the bias, gender objective.
You do.
An objective person, I want to walk mupira or I want to can say tea, now I want to walk Yakundi want to a team where I'm not a fan of football, but they want to walk mupira single want to walk never come you I've not seen because I was a keen observer and an objective observer, I've not didn't say Papa Ikira. Because I've had an opportunity to be briefed by the Right Honorable Odinga on his campaign and his interactions with the presidents and the endorsements. Though I have no the luxury of the other candidate, but I have not seen him. But when we do work as Abu, Chichukura Moaka very endorsed, no Jembiare.
Hurdles in Chirichi.
Adults want geopolitics. Yeah? This Papa and Joe material to our interest, but we are lucky the Democratic Party lost in the US. They usually poke noses on these issues. In America, now the European Union, European Union, especially in France, but we are lucky. Some of those, there are some francophone countries stage Wakakura. So we are the ones who were involved in the coup d'etats. Those are among the adults. 3, the Muslims. I think coach Bago support you no more obvious in Chileans. Bago support was applying didn't sing a Islam. But it's going to be addressed.
How?
By negotiations. Because if you look at the position left for the vice chair, it's supposed to come from a Muslim religion. So we're not going to have a chairman or a chairman. Basically, it's going to bring the balances. 3, I mean, those are the adults. And I was dreading when no matter what person, I was going to bribe. Kima. If you saw even the American president, he was going to go bribe. But ever say the so Christo at 30 pence, all over.
Senator, you've been honest, take a look at whatever. Raila Odinga's leadership will not only bring fresh energy and vision to the African Union, but also help solidify Africa's place in the global arena as a united, progressive, and forward-looking continent.
So what's the problem with that?
Are you being honest?
What's the problem with that?
Fresh energy and vision.
What's the problem with that? I want you to...
I don't think you're being honest.
What do you mean about fresh energy?
Yeah.
What do you understand by fresh energy?
Which fresh energy?
I'm asking, what do you understand by fresh energy? A new chapter. I'm talking about fresh energy in the perspective that Raila Odinga has worked at the AU as a higher commissioner for infrastructure.
And is, by the way, Okong'O was not even felt.
It was
not a chairman.
It was a commissioner. It was not the chairman. It was when you are a commissioner, you are not supposed to be felt. You put your recommendations to the people who have given you the job.
But you should use it nga commissioner anona arenge kina akolete obuild their CV akuruga which
Nyakunda, I think you need to understand, if you go through the book and see what he did and documented about as a higher commissioner for infrastructure, because the problem I have with most people and Kenyans, people argue from points of misinformation and lack of knowledge. And you know, knowledge is power. What Raila did in his 3.5 years tenure as higher commissioner for infrastructure is documented. Unless most people, there are people, unless you don't check their facts.
You're gonna go to the gas.
Out of work. So when I talk about fresh energy, when he goes there now, you know, his office was a step, one dob step to the chairperson's office. He's not going to go there and fresh energy. And they been understand Raila as Pan-African credentials. Raila knew when he was young, he knew Nyerere, he knew Kwame Nkrumah, Sekotula, and all those guys. He understands the ideas and the ideals of Pan-Africanism. Raila has been involved in peace building in Africa. Raila is a Democrat par excellence. He has democratic credentials. He believes in equity, rule of law, justice. At his age now, where he's become a sage, a very wise man, he wants to leave a good legacy. And by the way, when he goes there, Kenya has the best human resource in Africa. We are among the second in Africa with the best human resource. Like the Chinese who have now so many engineering, the old guards who are there. If he goes with that kind of cadre, he'll solidify Africa and renew, give hope for Africa. Yakunda, are you aware that the African Union does not have a constitution? You're not aware. They have a 3-page charter. Are you aware that we require, like for myself as an activist now, an activist, political activist, we want to have proposals when Papa is there. We want even to have members of parliament in the African Union. Pardon? Almost over 30 years, also 35, 40 years. Without the Katiba. A charter, you know, we need things. They doesn't have a parliament. Why do we have an East African parliament? And you think as a chair, yes. And with the support of President William Ruto, who is the chairman for reform. And with Mong'Are Okong'O as a consultant, you know, Pan-Africanist. We'll create all those things. Nyakundi, ingetoa tuwale bunge ya East Africa, tuwale bunge ya Pan-Africa, tuwale sawa kaka waikana sawa, ntoba ntamisini waikana sawa, waikana sawa, yusiti, wakorekana nimo banyu weni yawali, bakwani bintu biru bagenda. Ekiagera amaganio ale tofauti. Mbanya konyo mu. Abantu abate neniriyo gutatoka kwa reforms yicho ese myaka 30. Nkirairo dinga go change. That's why nalo kuburinga ki fresh energy. Right, is revolutionary. That's what is now those ideals. He listens. He understands. South Africa when they were taken to. Because some of us, the proposal we want to put when Raila Odinga is there, we have a constitution. Totuare African Parliament. Egotoka ari. Omwana ole togo maali metama the African Union inki. Omwana ole sironga ari metama no nabantu bajide sukuru sironga ari mama. Nyakundi ngote byonso on terreno na stance ya mo African erantem ya African Union to okwana na delimo. So we want ever opened up. Teba talk show for 54 presidents. Are you seeing? Ever reprise ekerabantu so that the abana ito yung generation ba ocha baso ko tera no ko gracia ya baso ko tera o ba tera e national anthem ya Kenya, e national anthem ya East Africa, e national anthem ya East ya Africa, lakini no era babunga baba ba gutara there are many things Raila can bring. He has the capacity because he's been given these opportunities. You saw when he worked with Kibaki what he did in the country. When he was minister for roads, wherever he has been, and he's a statesman, he's a Pan-Africanist. He understands. The first engineer, he even understands corner Africa by virtue of his vast, experience in African affairs, Pan-Africanism, and all those issues.
Pan-Africanism get in the Senate.
The unity of Africa, so that Africa can go to become a tree. We use the underlying, resources to make Africa say a matunda. Like United Africa, ebuate bintebimo asokoruga kwenda Boganda tokanya kwenda ali airport watenda letanga pasakana entry. Okotamba ko chimuno gali so that omo Africa abo muntu yomo.
Okay. Ekero batanga most of abantu bange batali kwagire Raila Odinga bagoteba abantu bwate agency abo bateba Raila Odinga bugwe because they don't believe nga a vision ago project iskali taliko I project gaiganka is working ne serikali ekomochiwa for abductions ekomochiwa otaiwera lichiko ekomochiwa as tribalism na samangana appointment. So the tribalism kwende Pan-Africanism ya Raila Odinga yate to koira AU, it doesn't practice it no eninka.
You see the chances, I think in your babu had a lot of despondence in our placeness. He tare Raila Odinga ikana mbanya kuweka Raila Odinga awe president. Raila Odinga walete michando yabo.
It doesn't need to be president, go practice, go advocate for unity, whatever rule of law. That's it can need to presidency.
Raila practices peace. He's a peacemaker. Otherwise, those chances could not be where they are today. Had it been William Ruto Jerry called Raila Odinga Nkonye, Raila Odinga yakundi esa awi karansa ne esa korora ayana inche na yanda ke ICC gora alia tote ni gora turi ko chimo esa karanste nto korora. He's a sage, he's a wise man. So I know Jesus
Can you be objective, Senator?
I'm objective.
You are not.
Oh, wait, what kind of I'm just talking in Yakun that Raila is a
does he advocate for rule of law?
Of course, yes. As Raila Odinga not stood and told President William Ruto that you must stop these abductions. I'm just
abductions are going on, and is it still working with that person?
Let me ask you. There are things people don't understand. Raila Odinga is not the president of the Republic of Kenya. Raila Odinga criticizes, but he cannot the sacrifice Raila Odinga has put for this country. So the argument of Gen Zs and yourself and others, Raila Odinga is the president of Kenya.
No, key. I'm basing my argument on your literature.
Yes, my literature says Raila Odinga is a peacemaker, is a democrat, is a guy who believes in the rule of law. I think he has spoken about that. If he were president, then he doesn't do that. Then you could have been in a proper position.
If that is his position, Raila Odinga akonlia aba Africa as a Pan-Africanism. Ngo practice yale ayo aiganka.
Who was in the forefront after the last elections? Who was in the forefront fighting for democratic and the rule of law? Who was doing that?
No, he's working next to the Kali.
No, just
to the Pan-African policy.
Can you answer my question? After the contested last year, 2 years elections, who was in the forefront to take tear gases and bullets for the rule of law and justice? Answer that question first before we move forward.
The Ganya answer to another question.
No, you answer. No, Nyakundi, if you want to be realistic, you must be objective and you answer questions the way they are come. Raila Odinga has spent over 55 years fighting for this country. Some of these Gen Zs who are under 25 do not even understand. They have not even comprehended. But go up tributing William Ruto obasumbuire na Raila Odinga ojire go solve mechando yoko sumbuliwa. Peace. Without peace, there's nothing we can move.
So
do you know why Raila Odinga
ngakira Odinga solve about governance? Agency barko.
Where were we?
Solution
if the Gen Zs continued, where was this country? Would they have removed William Ruto from power? Hypothetically speaking.
I don't know the results.
Hypothetically speaking. Hypothesis. I'm just giving an hypothesis. There are things I never think again. Yakuni United and the case is the biggest building to legally is like Korra and Tokora. And he doesn't have to explain to anybody about that. But the credentials. How many countries has Raila Odinga been involved in Africa to solve crises?
I'm trying to read your book.
No, not the book. To bring peace in countries. Even sometimes he was even stopped at the runway. Alinendega had to sacrifice his life for unity of countries and peace in countries in Africa, even this country. If the only option which is available as a political actor, a political historian, and a student of contemporary politics, instead of into dogs, the only option in Kenya, I did pin. We are lucky that we have a professional military. If we were in some other funny countries, it would have been a military takeover. Military takeovers are not a solution for democracy. And those Gen Zs, with their revolution, I don't think they could have removed William Ruto from power because they didn't have an end game. But it peaked. I have Gen Zs in my house who really do not subscribe to my political issues. Their arguments are good. Their cries are good. But you see, President William Ruto came to power two years ago in a very... William Ruto, before he became president, were there no killings in this country? Were there no abductions? Two wrongs do not make a right, fine. So these are issues.
Thank you.
These are issues William Ruto is also solving, and it is difficult to be a president. I want to become president in 2016. I know. I campaigned for 2 years. Oh no. William Ruto,
oh.
Raila no solve problems. Nando solutions.
Some solution a governance, for example.
They have a peaceful semblance of peace in this country. They are not demonstrating.
They are translated to good governance.
You start from peace.
So?
Once you have peace, you can think comfortably, peacefully, and try to address issues of governance. Yes.
The hurdles ahead. Geographical dynamics no kwandete ya perception of Kenya's regional dominance. Eyenga kiko work na
country regions na Kenya na bajuaji. There is this fear. Okana Tanzania wada ko okana kwa nyomo ngondora ali motobu yego waka na jibe siao. Lakini abantu bata muntu aje to aje airo bole mubaito. Esinge Kenya baraba ngaini baso mete. We developed their countries. Who we have assisted miaka mengi ba menya nentu gaiga bakora na Kenya sabia yagete no ko dominate the region, those are issues chiwanda kwa ba address bantu batenya oya ko ba Germany miaka neoka ko se nane a transform ma ko those are issues chiwanda ko so abantu understand
ikero kwa negora ya strengths na Raila as a candidate. You could have been fair and other weaknesses.
Why should I talk about weaknesses?
Because the book says why and how.
Why? I start with how. How I am giving the roadmap of how to campaign. Why? It should be there. You see chair. You talk only about strength. It's incumbent about. A guy will be playing, into the whims of other opponents. Just strength singo about. Ekara kwa ndanya kundi ekara wecha kwa ndakoliyo bunga aliyo bonjali. To waso kana weso kwa na weakness ciao. Oko ndangalia ringe ndengo togia ringwa kama mafuta bya ko no to manyane myake menge noro montombia aba ngense kwa ndanya kundi nkora mwagere simi ombe kabisi elima you see ona okold yeah. You know, those strengths, interactions chiaye gutara cross infrastructure knowledge yenki abantu batagete bonsi abantu batagete. And by the way Nyakundi papa mulagoja kubagaliga e country la benefit mono une wakwa ne abantu babwete etokwira bakenya gali babeke gasi chigasi ko beka itokonyo munda ko muna onye ko era tuabeka Kagame nero renge chairman ya reforms ekero ke bono William Ruto etu for 8 years. You will be surprised you and Addis Ababa chi contract ya ko era nyine mo Senegal oleto mwana ko boya MPA PhD basomete nobody questions because go oja ko reform abana na abaito bichensi na ko na Kenya is number 3 in Africa esa abantu bangaini. Those even the about the policy is equa because you can be able to negotiate, get funds from African Development Bank, resources to reform Africa. The benefits and the beneficiaries will be Kenyans, by the way. Yeah.
No vegete gai goronga anki Raila Odinga achieveti kiralenge AUC chairman.
Alenge AUC
commissioner.
Commissioner.
How did Kenya benefit?
Pardon?
Gai Kenya benefited. Kiralenge.
I didn't say that in the book. That's why you need to read the book.
You have outlined the guy.
No, I'm just saying.
No, what I'm documented.
I just said the role and the work of Raila Odinga as Commission for Infrastructure.
Maybe you could have put a case here stronger. As a country we benefit A, B, C, D.
What he did as a chairman, as a commissioner for infrastructure, what he was doing roadmaps. Are you seeing of what needs to be done? And those implementations can only be done by the chair, who is a CEO, in conjunction with all the presidents. I will present the case here with the presidents. It's only the chair. And the other things which have been done, especially those corridors which have been earmarked, his presentations to the chairman, there are many things we are very presented to the presidents. They are pending approval and implementation.
Okay.
So as an architect of all those issues, I guess we can answer. I mean, they are going to process implementation. I come back say raise. Como monto monga oja. Aja kwanda sani kia okaraga bwe UC. Yes.
Raila's Pan-African legacy. Raila's struggle for democracy, justice, and reforms in Kenya serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of Africa's challenge and aspirations. His commitment to addressing political repression, economic inequality, and social injustices resonates with many nations across the continent that are fighting for similar causes. Raila's legacy is not only one of personal achievement, but also a beacon of hope for those who seek to create more just and equitable Africa. So you are agreeing that some of these achievements are personal?
What I'm saying?
No, achievements chinde Raila Odinga anyorere ichire personal, not necessarily chira Konya continent.
Maybe you have not understood the context.
What please expound for me.
So manga fresh.
Raila Odinga's struggle for democracy, justice, and reforms in Kenya serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of Africa's challenges and aspirations. His commitment to addressing political repression, economic inequality, and social injustice resonates with many nations across the continent that are fighting for similar causes. Raila's legacy is not only one of personal achievement, but also a beacon of hope for those who seek to create more just and equitable Africa.
A person has achieved this. It's not that for personal gain. In his stage as Raila Odinga, as a person,
you said, Senator,
he has gained those things.
Senator, you said Raila's legacy is not only one of personal achievement, but also. So yes, you are agreeing that sometimes the achievements are personal, not necessarily for us as a country.
I'm talking about personal achievement to fight for democracy. It's a personal achievement. Personal achievement to fight against repression. Personal achievement to fight for interconnectivity of Africa. I know what you are talking about. Service is talking about his service interest. It's not. Those are very different.
That's what you are agreeing with.
You are going to semantics, but you are going to logical semantics. Really different. Raila binta was sacrificed for the country. Raila to I go to and the bondo gari karanse. Itago tumuka ali bintu bia gari ngole. It is because he has this calling. He's been baptized or very baptized with fire and crimson. Kuruanira bantu. That's what I captured in that precept. Yes. Raila ojire ebinte tu kwano bia spinera take 2010 constitution. Yeah? Ella bantu wani baro ba kan the 2010 constitution. Bro mura yoro arenga against the 2010 constitution. Bonera beneficiary. Tai Raila Odinga. Are you seeing? Ebintu bira kolra bantu ba benefit mono banyo against na bia to kolra Africa. Na ba atikira bana baitu na other people will come when we're gone. Yes.
Very well. Uchinde kulele maswali ya beratu tegara kini kwa stinyolo ujumbe kurega asi studio edindi tuendele usanga mna mwacho moteli tumuli swali logo etera senchela 0724256504. When Raila Odinga got an opportunity to nominate people to serve in this government, was there inclusivity?
To serve where? In the broad-based government? Of course.
Inclusivity, no?
Of course.
Oh.
Yes.
Where was it?
Where is it not?
Where is it?
He brought people from this political party, all right? He brought Asoba, he brought Aluya, he brought people from Coast, he brought, what kind of inclusivity are you talking about?
Okay.
Our people were given positions, some, refused, I'm told.
Okay. Is it meaning Africa united currently?
It's not. Is Africa united? United. We
Raila Odinga, Senator. Okay, maybe no go answer.
And I want key. When we have these regional blocks, is that unit? These regional blocks might be much into one congruent Africa. This idea of East Africa, SADC, all those things, it's harmonized, especially in terms of what Raila might be bringing on board is especially economic infrastructural unity.
Economic
infrastructural unity. That's why if you read comprehensively on this project, as a AUC Commissioner for Infrastructure, you will see comprehensive proposals on corridors which run from here to Accra, and then there are other things like free trade areas, there are other free movements which are not there.
Raila Odinga agachukura chinse chietenerete sovereign states kira yemwate katiba yae wata machikae philosophies chiae. What you are saying practically there possible ngato endega chikolenta lichiko to chiko kolente katiba. How do you influence a sovereign state as a chairman ya AUC? In fact, what no influence as a CS foreign affairs or ENSA.
I'm saying Raila has given proposals on infrastructural economic development of Africa, which has been accepted. It is documented, it's lying there. As a CEO voted by the president, by the time these presidents are voted for a chair, IUC chair, they have donated the powers from their countries for the CEO to govern.
To govern their countries?
To govern their countries within the laws of their country and AUC charter.
Ngikere powerful as Kenya, lichikolito ko se lichikolia EU.
Pardon?
Ngikere powerful, ngiko go to guide bia. Lichikolita ko se lichikolia EU.
They are complementary. They are complementary roles. Yeah.
That we should borrow. What if a vision ya EU to line? A vision ya itonense.
There's no vision of AU which does not align with us as a country.
54 country senators both have different ideologies.
Those ideologies are harmonized. That's why we have a AUC charter. That's why I'm saying the problem we have with most Kenyans, they don't go to library, is to interrogate most of these issues to understand. Once the president fought, it's like my power. unless he reads me in a wrong direction, no jen MC ana bokichora word ya jojo ya kama chorete, unless angire bobe. But so long as you have the constitution and according to be
but you still retain your right.
After 5 years.
By donating that,
how would you do that?
You can recall it.
Cumbersome. Those processes are cumbersome.
The same way cumbersome can influence countries which are sovereign.
No, all these presidents are in agreement with the charter, with most proposals. But all these briefings. I think the chair of AUC is not going to go there and work outside the laws and the constitution of these countries. They are all harmonized and the approaches are there. What you'll be doing, no persuade now the capacity.
Senator Raila, what's next?
It's not a do or die. He come back to Kenya and do other business. He's the chair. He's still the party leader of the ODM party, and is the part of the leader as me. Yeah. You go for him. It's not a do or die. Yeah. He's lost many battles. He's won many battles. So my life must go on. And when you go to you must be prepared for both outcomes.
Okay.
Yes.
The
books are available at Nuria bookstores in Nairobi, and there is an e-fashion at Amazon.
Okay.
E-fashion, is Amazon.
Very well. By the way, has Raila been a mediator in Africa? Which country?
The Gambia.
Mediator?
The Gambia. It was in is it Cote d'Ivoire? The basement. Basement. And this airport. Is it Cote d'Ivoire?
Yes, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And even it's been all over. Yes. One ya kwenda some Bwebitabu. And n'abantu bamindurende n'abatebi na tinda njabana ende UC. Because ya woje.
Basi wana senda tane ticket yo kuri ya ODM yo gabana wanyamira.
Enda ticket.
Basi wana senda tane wanyamira.
Anu gabana wanyamira wana kuri babere bichi fire aja.